everyone, welcome back to Evermore YouTube channel. It's Chris back with my rant stroke thought of the day. I have to do this one. Oh my God. The turd that will not flush is back, bouncing up and down in the toilet bowl. Yes, the Baron of Bacon has resurfaced, spouting absolute nonsense yet again, more rotten than the cabbages that was thrown at him at the Aston Villa ground. He's back talking to our favourite radio station, Talksport, or Talk Shite, as you all call it really. But my God, the shit that's flying out of this man's mouth now is unprecedented. Just when you thought the world couldn't get more crazy, the politicians talking absolute nonsense. Donald Trump could be back in the White House soon. Steve Bruce has pipped up with a new level of bullshit that will astound even you. My God. So he's turned around and said that, you know, they're talking about FFP and everything else, you know, and Newcastle wouldn't be in FFP if it wasn't for Mike Ashley, and the club was run really well. You know, they only spent what they had and everything else. And in typical Steve Bruce style, he says, oh, I'll get slaughtered for that. Yes, you will, Steve, because you're a fucking moron. That's why you'll get slaughtered for that. Talksport giving this complete turd air as usual. Good old Brucey. It's probably on the Alan Brazil show. I didn't actually watch or listen to the show because I didn't want my ears to bleed or my eyes to burst out of my skull. So I have seen it on social media. I have read a Daily Mail piece about Steve Bruce, who's claiming he's the victim of the Saudi takeover. But it's quite funny. So he turns around and says things about, you know, obviously buying players and, you know, only spending what you have. And he then goes on and moans about not having Alexander Mitrovic and Ayoze Perez, who are both sold for big money to other clubs for Mike Ashley to reinvest in his own pocket and give the manager a slither of the cost. I mean, this guy is so fucking stupid. If any prospective owners are watching now, this is exactly the reason why Steve Bruce should not be your manager in the modern day world of football. The reason that Newcastle United struggling with FFP is because the man that you're lauding up so much, the fat controller himself, Mike Ashley, was horrendous at doing commercial deals over the last 15 years that he was at the football club. We were way ahead of the likes of Spurs and Everton and people like that. This fuckwit gave himself the sponsorship, gave himself the name and rights of the ground. You know, Sports Direct paid a pittance to advertise at the ground, where they should have been paying 4, 5, 6 times the amount of money, going back into the club's coffers, thus making the financial revenue of the club a lot more healthy, thus making you being able to spend money on players. This guy is an absolute fucking moron. He really is. And just when you don't think he can get any stupider, he comes out with shit like this. Honestly, he is the worst manager I've ever seen at this football club in all the years I've been watching it. We have loads of viewers who've been supporting Newcastle for nearly 50, 60 years. Steve Bruce has to be up there with the worst fucking managers we've ever had at this football club. Not only because he was a shit manager, his win ratio was crap, his football was crap, his selections were crap, but the way he spoke to the media, the way he segregated the fan base, his arrogance and delusion that he was a really good manager, based solely on the fact that he was a decent player for Manchester United that won trophies, is absolutely fucking breathtaking. It really is. And all of these dicks in the mainstream media who keep giving him airtime are all thinking about Steve Bruce, centre-half, you know, Premier League winning captain for Manchester United. They even asked this fucking moron about whether he would like the Manchester United job, as if he's going to get the Manchester United job. As funny as that would be as a Newcastle fan to see this tit in the dugout at Old Trafford making an absolute shambles and mockery of that football club he once graced. All these bloody Man United fans who hang out of his arse would realise how shit he is then if he become their manager, because it's a new level of mediocrity that these motherfuckers have never seen Steve Bruce in charge. But to listen to this bollocks, to even claim that Newcastle would be better run in the FFP restrictions and modern day game if Mike Ashley was still in charge, is absolutely ludicrous. Go back and look at the figures. You know, we've had Kieran Maguire before on the show. Fantastic as Kieran. He breaks these things down forensically in terms of the finances. You can look at it. Swiss Rambles, another great one. Look at the pathetic commercial revenue that was brought into this football club by Mike Ashley. This guy bled the club dry. He bought it probably on a whim, or he lost a poker game or something like that. He ended up with a football club, didn't realise you can't really make any money off a football club. You spend more than you make. And he then decided to just asset strip the shit out of it, you know, until somebody come along willing to pay him double what he paid for the club. He banked his money and he fucked off. And good riddance to bad rubbish. He's tried to come back in football since then. Thankfully for the clubs that he's tried to buy, it ain't happened. And he's fucking disappeared down the rabbit hole. And hopefully Steve Bruce will join him down the toilet chute that is football And he's just, what a fucking idiot. I mean, it's no surprise he's on Talksport. There's a chair waiting for him in that complete retirement home of ball bags. You know, there'll be the Steve Bruce show probably where he slags off managers that he couldn't get anywhere near on his best fucking day. I'm sure that's going to happen very, very soon. He's talking about international management as well. I mean, Jesus Christ, I wouldn't wish this bloke on any country ever in the world. He's an absolute disgrace of a manager, but also completely fucking deluded. He sits there and he loads everything up. You know, this is a guy who segregated the whole family. This is a guy who damaged Sean Longstaff's mental health to the point where he had to go and seek professional guidance for it. This guy's a fucking arsehole. This guy's the reason that Matty Longstaff's career completely bombed at Newcastle United, and now he's overplaying in Toronto. That's Steve Bruce for you. And the fact that he thinks that Mike Ashley's some kind of financial wizard is just that lazy, fucking tired out old bollocks saying that all these wankers were saying, you know, at the time when Ashley was watching Newcastle United rot in front of his eyes like a scabby banana in the bottom of the bin, you know, Rio Ferdinand, even Bellas, you know, all these people who were saying that shit, and they were totally proven wrong, you know, when we realised how shit the commercial revenue is behind the scenes at Newcastle. You listen to Darren Eales, Amanda Staveley and everybody else, and they tell you straight what an awful job Mike Ashley did with running this football club. Training ground falling apart, no investment in the academy, no investment in the commercial revenue. The ground looks exactly the same as it's done when he bought the fucking thing, you know. Or go back and look at those videos of players having fucking you know, little, what was it, paddling pools instead of actual pools, which we have now in the great facilities that we have. Ridiculous to think that Steve Bruce has come out with this, but shouldn't surprise you, because this guy just talks and shit falls out of his mouth. So I hope the fuck he pisses off somewhere soon and stops damaging everybody's eardrums. But no, Steve Bruce, Mike Ashley is not a good owner, has never been a good owner, and will never be a good owner. And I hope to God he never comes back into football again. And the same goes for you, you fucking crinkly old ball bag mediocre twat. So that's my thoughts about Steve Bruce and Mike Ashley. Let us know what you guys think in the comments below. I'd like to hear from you. If you like this kind of thing, subscribe, like the video, help the channel grow. We'll be back with some more content soon. Even though it's an international break, me and Martin got a few things to talk about, and we'll have a few more thoughts of the day like this. Have a belter wherever you are, everybody, and we'll see you later. Cheers.